Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll try to repair this Amstrad CPC 464. I've already tested it, but unfortunately when I turn it on there is no video signal. One of the most distinctive features of the Amstrad CPC 464 was its 64 KB of RAM, which could be expanded up to 512 KB with memory expansions. Additionally, graphics offered a resolution of 160 by 200 pixels and a palette of 27 colors to choose from. It uses a General Instruments audio chip, which provides 3 channels. The output is mono with a small built-in speaker and the possibility of stereo output through a headphone jack. The Amstrad CPC 464 is an 8-bit home computer produced by Amstrad and marketed from 1984 to 1990. Featuring a Zilog Z80A processor running at 4 MHz, this computer provided a solid foundation for running a variety of applications, games, and educational programs of its time. Apart from the joystick port, the computer, keyboard, and cassette recorder are all combined in a single unit connected to a monitor via 2 cables. There were also 3.5-inch floppy disk drive available, which connected to the computer through a connector on the back. As I mentioned before, when I turn it on, I have no video signal, and this could be caused by various factors, but it's important to understand whether if I have a black screen or no signal, because it can indicate different issues requiring different troubleshooting approaches. But in this case, it seems like I have no signal whatsoever, so I'm going to open the Amstrad to see what the problem might be. Before I start, I would like to emphasize that this video, along with others on my channel, is based on my personal experience, and it's not meant to be a tutorial on how to repair these devices. While I enjoy fixing them for my own collection and use, I'm not a professional, so please don't try to replicate what you see at home. At first glance, there doesn't seem to be anything suspicious, except for a large amount of dust, but I'll check the voltage of the power supply since the LED wasn't even turning on. The voltage should be 5 volts, but it doesn't seem to be the problem. At this point, I'll focus on the board and I'll check the voltage, but in this way the board will never work, because the computer has a switch that is connected to this, so unless I close that circuit, the board will never work. And it's quite inconvenient to connect it in this way, so some people use the same connector that will go here, but with the red and white wires connected together. In this way, the circuit is closed. I'll choose a point far from the power supply, and in this point the voltage should be at least 5 volts, but there doesn't seem to be any voltage at all in any of these points, and not even in the CPU. There's no voltage regulator in this board, so some voltage drop is normal, but in this case there's definitely an issue. At this point, it occurs to me to check the switch, and this because it could get dirty inside over time and no longer make contact. And in this case, the board was very dusty, so that could also be the problem. I'm going to test the continuity. When the switch is off, there shouldn't be any continuity, while when it's on, there should be continuity. But there's no continuity even in this case, so I'll open it to see what the problem might be. The mechanism is quite simple. There are 2 metal pieces and a middle piece that rotates into a position that touches both metal pieces, and in this way the circuit is closed. Now I'm going to give it a good clean, hoping that it's just dirty and that's why it's not making any contact. Now that I clean it, I'm going to test the continuity again. When it's on, there should be continuity. Okay, and when it's off, there shouldn't. So at least this problem is solved. Now I'm going to clean the board and then I'm going to check if it works. While I was cleaning, I noticed that this capacitor came loose. And also this component is soldered oddly, as this part is slightly raised compared to the other, but it seems like it's not causing any trouble making contact. So I'll add some new solder to the capacitor, so I'll reconnect it, and then I'll test if it works. I've cleaned the board and reconnected the capacitor. Now let's see if it works. However, I still have the same issue, so there is no video signal. Even though there is no video signal, I fixed the voltage problem and it's stable around 5 volts. But I still have no clue about why there is no video signal. I think I'll check the clock, even though I don't think that's the issue, because without a clock signal we would have a higher voltage drop. But it might be at the wrong frequency. I'll check the input clock signal of the gate array at pin 8, which should be around 60 MHz. And indeed it's around 16.5 MHz. The gate array then generates an output of 4 MHz, which is sent to the Z80. So I'll check pin 6, which is precisely 4 MHz. Now I'm going to check the video signal, specifically the sync signal of the gate array at pin 11. But there's nothing there. There is no signal. At pin 14 and 15 there are the sync signal that the gate array receives from the CRT. But there is nothing here. There is no signal. The CRT also receives an input clock signal, which should be around 1 MHz. And that's correct. I'm also going to check the vertical and horizontal sync at pin 39 and 40. But just like in the gate array, there is no signal here. At this point I'll focus on the Z80. A useful signal to check is the memory request at pin 19, and it's around 1.4 MHz. So I can assume that's not the problem. Other two useful signals to check are M1 and refresh at pin 28, but that seems correct, as it's around 333 kHz, and 27. But there's no signal in M1, and unlike the others, M1 is directly generated by the Z80, so if there's a problem in that point, it's definitely the Z80 that it's not working correctly. So I'll replace this CPU with another Z80 to see if that's the problem. I've replaced the old CPU with a new Z80 that I got from another Amstrad CPC 464. And now let's see if it works. And it turns on, so I guess the problem was just related to the Z80. Now I'm going to reassemble everything and test if the floppy disk drive and the cassette player works. I've also tried to use the cassette player and the floppy drive, but both of them are not working. So I think it's just a mechanical issue and some belts that need to be changed, but I will do that in the next video. Fortunately, it was a simple repair. The switch wasn't making contact anymore and the Z80 needed to be replaced. Let me know what you think in the comments or if you have any suggestions. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.